Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Layla, and in this video I want to talk about what's next on my financial journey now that I'm no longer focused on debt. So I've been on my debt-free journey since June of 2018. I would say even a little bit before that, because before I was still, paying down debt as much as I could anyway. And I always say that June 2018 is when I reached my highest point of debt. And so that's when I officially started my journey. But even before that, all I was really focusing on was, trying to get my finances in order and pay down debt. Well, as of March, the end of March, I no longer have to focus on paying down debt. I am completely done. I've talked about this a few times, but in case you don't know, or if this is the first video that you're watching of mine, I have $36,000 of total student loan debt. That's all that I have left. I will eventually share my whole debt-free journey. I actually have an update video that I do every single year. So I've had other debts, my car, my credit cards and all that stuff that I had before, but all that I have left right now is student loan debt, and I still have that debt, but I have enough money saved up in my high yield savings accounts to pay that off. The reason I'm not paying off my student loans is because they're in forbearance and at 0% interest due to the pandemic. So they've been on pause since 2020. And that pause is not supposed to end until later on this year. So, maybe August or September, we'll have to start paying back our student loan debt. But even that, I don't know. And as of right now, once payments resume, my plan is to make a lump sum payment. But as of right now, I'm done. I'm considering my debt-free journey completed, and I'll document when I actually pay that off. But I don't need to keep saving for debt anymore. For some reason, it still doesn't really feel real, I guess, or it doesn't feel like I'm done with it. Not because I haven't actually paid it down. I mean, that's part of it. I think once I actually pay off my debt, I'll feel more excited, but it hasn't really hit me yet. Like, this is something my whole adult life, obviously I was in school for quite some time, and that's what I focused on then. I didn't really worry about my debt or anything like that. But once I, started my career, my main focus has been debt. Like, that's all I've known. I have invested, I have saved throughout this time, but a big focus of mine was debt. So honestly, right now, I just feel kind of weird. I don't feel an excitement as I expected to feel. It's kind of just, okay, what's the next thing? And to me, that doesn't feel very exciting. And I will say, like, the next stage of my finances is an exciting thing, like putting money toward my future and all that stuff. But it almost feels like, I don't know, debt just felt like such a big part of my life that it felt normal. I'm not saying I want debt whatsoever. I'm so happy that I have reached this point. It just feels strange and different, and I'm not used to it yet. And I mean, I'm less than a month out. Like, I still am very fresh to this, so I don't really expect it to click anytime soon, or maybe it never will. Like, maybe it's just, this is how it is, like, I'm done with it. That's it. It doesn't need to feel a certain way. But I think I just kind of feel like I'm in this weird transition period. But that's also because I am in this kind of weird transition period in my life. Like, just the beginning of this year, things moved really, really quickly in January, February, March for my debt. And now there's a lot of things that are changing in my life. So I will talk about that because it's going to play a big role in my finances. And I think it will be interesting. That's another thing that's like changing in my life. And I don't know how I feel about it. It just feels weird. I'm just in this strange transition period. So yeah, I'm done with my debt. And now my focus is my Roth IRA. That's what I've been putting the bulk of my money toward, as y'all know. Or not the bulk of my money, but the bulk of the remaining money that I have after I pay bills and stuff. So I do expect to max out my Roth IRA by July. I think I'll max it out by June, actually. That's the plan anyway. I want to do it pretty quickly while the market is down and just get that out of the way for various reasons, which I'll talk about a little bit. But yeah, that's my main focus right now. And I'm not going to increase my 401k contributions until that's maxed out. I may not even increase my 401k contributions until next year. I don't know. It just depends on how things work out. The other big thing happening in my life is that I am going to be moving in May. and I have lived in my current apartment for over 4 years now. I actually really, really love it here. I have lived by myself this whole time, and it is quite expensive, but I love my apartment. I love the area. I love the convenience of everything, and I've grown very used to it. However, my boyfriend, who I've been with for a long time now, we've been together for 6 years at this point, he did buy a house. My name is not on the house. This is completely under his name alone, but he moved in this month, in April, and then I will be moving in May, right before my lease ends, because my lease ends in May. So I'm very excited. We are very excited, but it's going to be different, much different than what I am used to. It's also going to save me a lot of money and allow for me to put my money elsewhere, because I've paid for this apartment for myself, obviously. I'm the only person living here, and it is quite pricey. But now I'm going to be paying less for housing, utilities, and all that stuff combined at the house. That also hasn't really hit me yet. Like, I know that I'm moving. First of all, I haven't packed at all. I'm moving in about 3 weeks or so. So I need to get I need to get started on packing and stuff. Does anyone like packing? I don't know. I'm sure there are some people out there who do, but I think packing is really annoying, especially when it's like just things. It's not even packing for vacation. This is like your whole life that you have to put into boxes and stuff. I haven't started that, so yeah, that doesn't feel like it hasn't really hit me yet. And I'm also a little bit sad to leave my apartment, but also ready for this change and very much looking forward to saving money. That is going to help me quite a bit. Of course, when the time comes, I'll actually talk about it in more detail, because as of right now, I don't really know. Like, he just moved in, so we don't know what things are going to cost on a monthly basis yet, like the electricity and water and gas and all that. We still aren't 100% sure on, because it hasn't even been a full month. As I mentioned, the house is only under his name, so I will be paying him each month, just like a chunk of cash to cover my portion of things. And that works really well for us. We've already discussed this, and that makes the most sense, I have an idea of how much I will be paying, but it's not set in stone. So I will talk about that when the time actually comes. And it should be saving me, several $100s at least per month. So I instead will put that money toward investments as well as savings, because we do want to purchase new things, a new couch. Eventually I would like to get a new bed for us, new table and all that stuff. So I want to start saving. He's saving as well, and then we'll purchase furniture probably next year. So yes, more to come on that, because when I talk about my budgets and stuff, you'll see that my numbers will look quite different. But as of right now, that's the update there. Another thing happening this month into next month has to do with my job, my current full-time job. I am a Salesforce consultant. If you're interested in becoming a Salesforce consultant, definitely check out talentstacker.com/Layla. I'll have it linked down below, and other relevant videos to what I do, because this was not the career that I had, last year. So, well, a year and a half ago or so. I did make a career transition, and I've been at this current company for a little over a year, and we are in our performance evaluations currently. Well, we just finished, and I have asked to be promoted. So that's a pretty big thing to happen. I've never experienced a promotion in my life like that, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. This is something that I think I will get. I believe I will be promoted. However, I'm not 100% sure. I should be finding out probably this week. With that promotion will come a pay increase. They told me between 10 to 13% of a pay increase. I'm going to try to push for the 13% side of things, and that will put me a little bit higher than what I'm currently at. The way my company works, this from my current position to my next position won't be too much change in responsibility, so it shouldn't be anything drastic. I won't have to take on any leadership role or anything of that sort, so I'm fine with that. I'm really not into becoming a manager or leader, director, that sort of thing. Not that I would qualify for anything like that at the time being, but that's just in general not something I see myself doing at all in my lifetime. But of course it does come with a pay increase and then a title change. So that of course looks good for my resume and such. I think I'll be told that I'm promoted in April, but won't actually get the promotion until the beginning of May. But again, I'm not sure. I don't want to, I feel like I'll find out within the next couple of days. By the time I put this video up, I'll probably find out, but I don't know 100% if I'll be promoted. I'm just assuming. Now, to be honest, after that, the way that it works with tech companies and a lot of companies is the best thing for you to do is work at a job for, 2 years or so and then move on to the next one, because that's how you experience a lot of growth, especially in your income. So that's kind of my plan after. I really don't want to dive too deep into it just because I'm still at my current company, but I do plan on staying for a little bit and then I will begin looking elsewhere. Before we get into the details about what my plan is in regards to my career, I want to give a quick shout out to FlexiSpot for partnering with me on today's video. FlexiSpot makes multiple pieces of furniture, but for this video specifically, I want to talk about the FlexiSpot E1FR height adjustable standing desk. This is a 2-tier electric standing desk, and it also has this magnetic pegboard across the back, which is really unique. I actually use FlexiSpot for my desk. I work from home, I work completely remote, and I purchased a FlexiSpot desk back in 2022. It's a different version, but I do have my own FlexiSpot. I absolutely love it. It's also a standing desk. I think FlexiSpot offers some really great products for a great price. Now, FlexiSpot did send me this desk, but I actually had it shipped to my sister's house so that she could have her own FlexiSpot desk for when she works from home. So she is planning on transitioning careers, and I already have a great FlexiSpot desk that I love and I don't really want to change at this point. So I was happy to let her have this one, and we put it together. It's pretty straightforward. There's some parts of it, anytime I build furniture, there's something with it that's a little bit confusing, but it wasn't bad. It took like a couple of hours for the both of us to put together, and it looks beautiful. With this one, it does have a memory controller, which is interesting. So the desk that I have just goes up or goes down. You just hold the button. It's very quiet, very effortless. This one is also very quiet, but you can also save settings. So if you want it at the, if you have a certain height that you want it to be at when you're sitting, you can have it save on a specific number. Same with if you have a different height for when you're standing, you can save that height and just push that number and it will go straight to that height, which I thought was pretty awesome. You could also just push the up and down arrow and adjust it where you need it to be. There is that magnetic pegboard with there's also a hole in the center where you could put cords through. So if you have your keyboard or anything that you need to charge, you could put it through there and keep your desk clean. You can pin notes if you need to on the magnetic keyboard. It did come with a few magnets, which I thought was cute. So you could put your sticky notes, or you could lean things against the pegboard because it's at an angle. So you could put your phone, your iPad. I thought that was awesome. And then it does have that 2-tier, as I mentioned, which is awesome because that lifts your monitors so that they're at eye level or where you need them to be without having to purchase anything external. You can just put your monitors across the top. You could also put a monitor on the bottom and have things at different heights, but it's really nice that that's included. If you work from home, I highly recommend getting a standing desk. I think that's just the normal thing to do these days, because when you're working from home, you tend to sit for much longer, and it is healthy to stand up here and there, spend a couple hours of your day standing, because sitting can be bad for your back, bad for your neck, bad for your health overall. So to have it adjustable, you can sit when you need to, but also stand to give yourself some movement in your day. You could also add like a walking treadmill underneath your desk if that's something you wanted to do. And FlexiSpot is very adjustable. So you can go very, very low and sit whatever height you need to, but also go very high. So you can be short like me or really, really tall, and you should be able to find a height that is suitable. I will have a link to the specific item in the description box. The one that I selected and the one that you're seeing in this video is 55 inches. I can also link to the flexi spot that I use personally. You can also choose which color you want. They have a number of options. I really like the clean white look, but there's also a wood grain top, and it looks really nice depending on how you decorate your home. So you do have options there. If you have any questions, feel free to comment those down below, but otherwise thank you to FlexiSpot for partnering with me on this video. Okay, so as far as my next job, I will probably start applying fairly soon over the next few months, because typically when you apply to a job, it takes some time to go through the interviewing process, to get the job, get the background check. And the other thing is I need a break. I really, really want a small break. Well, depends on how you define small, but I need like a month to a month and a half off between this job and my next job. Like, I just need something. Honestly, a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking I would be taking a longer sabbatical this year, or like a longer break. I was thinking I wanted to do 3 months or something like that of a break between jobs, or just like take off 3 months and see where things go. But at this point, I think I feel more comfortable applying to jobs, getting an offer, and then telling my company when I'd be leaving and starting at the new company in a month or a month and a half after that. The reason I don't want to do too long of a stretch is because of health insurance, first of all. So if I were to do a month or a month and a half, I could easily be covered during that time, or just extend a little bit with Cobra. I don't want to have to pay for Cobra too long because it's very expensive, but that would be my solution for a month and a half. I should be covered in, like, if you leave a job in September, for example, you should still be covered for your health insurance that month, depending on the job, of course, but I'll have to find out about that. The other thing is my 401k. You have 60 days typically from when you leave a company to move your 401k to another one, or to roll it over into a Roth IRA. I would prefer to have my 401k go to another company's 401k. So I would need to be able to plan that strategically. So less than 2 months off would be ideal, so I can make that all work out. As for what I want out of my next job, it will be fairly similar. I'll probably stay in consulting. I'm not really sure, but either Salesforce consulting or Salesforce admin, analyst, something of that nature. But the main thing that I would like to change is my income. My income isn't horrible. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad at all. I know that. But in this industry, you can make a lot of money. So I would like my next job to be in, 6 figures, at least $100,000. But ideally, I'm actually aiming for $110,000 or more. That's what I am looking for and what I'm going to ask for, depending on the job, of course. And I believe I can do that because I've seen others do the same thing. Even from my company, they had the same role as me, worked for, a year and a half or so, and then moved on to the next job, and they are now making 6 figures. That's about as much as I've planned for my next job. Of course, I would like, health insurance, 401k with some sort of match. Any other benefits I can get would be great, but that's about as far as I've planned, because I don't like to plan too much or too detailed, just because it's hard to predict, and I don't know what next month or anything in the future is going to look like. I can try my best to, plan things as I go, but as of right now, those are the only things I've kind of outlined. And what I do from there really depends on whether I find a job that will pay me that much, or if I were to stay at my current company, I wouldn't be able to save as much. Like, if I were to switch jobs and have that much of a pay increase, that would change things pretty significantly for me, especially since I will now be living with my boyfriend. So there's 2 of us paying for things, and I'll be saving money, but also if I were to increase my income, that changes a lot. So if I were to get a job over 6 figures, I would likely increase my 401k contributions. I would definitely focus on saving, not just investing, saving. So by this point, if I get a new job in 2023, my Roth IRA will be completed. But after that, I think I would increase my 401k contributions and probably just leave it at that for 2023, because I really want to focus on saving actual cash. and I want to save for a couple of things. So the first thing is furniture, as I mentioned. I would like a few thousand saved up to purchase furniture in 2024, just because, you know, we have a whole list of things that we would like to purchase. And these purchases, the bulk of them would be split with my boyfriend, but I still would like a solid 6K saved up for that. I would like to increase my emergency fund. So y'all know that my goal for 2023 is to get that to 12K. I'm pretty sure either way, like even if I didn't get a new job this year, I'll be able to do that. Like I guess that's first priority over the furniture fund. The third thing I would like to start saving for is a down payment for a house. Even though, you know, my boyfriend did just buy a house, this is not something that we're gonna stay in for years and years and years, I don't think. I don't want to plan out what he does with his home, but he has talked about, you know, putting it for rent or potentially selling it in the future. We don't really know, but we would like to purchase in a different area. So I would like to start saving for a down payment. However, I'm not stressing about that too much. Like, yes, it is important for me to also purchase a home at some point, but since I now have a home to go to and it's going to save me money, that works for me. I wasn't gonna say this, but I do just want to bring it up in case anybody's watching this for like the first time. But you can probably tell from my videos that I'm a fairly independent. I am an independent person. Like all my money it's just been me, you know? So I've had nobody supporting me financially whatsoever, aside from like going out to eat here and there. So me moving in with my boyfriend and not having my name on the property is not a problem because I'm still gonna have my money. Like we're not joining our accounts together or anything, not until we're married. I'm still gonna be working. I still have my side hustles. I have my savings, he has his savings. Like if anybody, you know, I've seen some people say like, oh, you're gonna be dependent on that person, but that's not what this is whatsoever. Like, yes, I'll be paying him some money, but I'm still focusing on my savings, my investments, all that stuff. And if need be, I would be able to live on my own again, but I don't see that happening. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that in case anybody was thinking that or curious. I'm in a pretty good financial situation at this point. The final thing that I would like to save for is, I don't know, I guess you would call it a sabbatical. You've probably seen this in a couple of my videos. I recently changed my sinking fund names. I haven't added anything to them, but one of them is now called Sabbatical. But this is kind of more of a self-employed experiment instead. So what I'm thinking, this is kind of planning out too far ahead, but if I get a new job this year or even next year, I would probably only work there through the end of 2024, and after that I want to try to take my side hustles, my business, full-time. And I honestly think I can. At this point, I'm making a decent amount every month from my income, from my side hustles. I don't want to do that right now. I don't feel ready for that. But I think if I were to get to a point where I have a bunch of cash saved up specifically for, you know, living if I needed it, then I would feel more comfortable to leave a job and, you know, start paying for health insurance as a self-employed person, start trying to only use the money that I make from my online business for my expenses, and then have that cash in the background in case I need it. So that's something else I would like to start saving for. And this is why it's really important for me to increase my income as much as possible, because this is kind of a lot, you know, if I'm maxing out my Roth IRA, increasing my 401k contribution, saving for a house, saving for a sabbatical, saving for furniture, like all these things obviously require more money, which is why it's important for me to look elsewhere. But yeah, everything is step by step. We're gonna take it one day at a time because that's all you can do. I don't want to plan too far in advance, but that's kind of a rough breakdown of what I have in my mind. So of course, it's kind of a given that throughout the next year and, well, I guess 2 years or so, I really need to buckle down on my business and take this as seriously as I can. I am starting to invest more into my business, get some help. Yeah, just take it more seriously so that I'm hoping that if I invest more money into things and get some help with things, I can also grow and expand my business and then be able to take it full time, feel much more comfortable to take it full time in 2025. I know this video is kind of all over the place. I'm sorry I don't have it more structured, but that's, you know, it's hard to plan the future because whenever I've made plans in the past, like it's never worked out how I planned things. So this is just what I'm putting out there and what I'm kind of expecting to happen, but you just never know until things actually go through. And nothing's guaranteed, you know? Like maybe I won't get promoted, maybe I won't have this job, maybe I won't find another job making 6 figures. Like nothing is guaranteed, so I'm just taking it as things go, and then I'll keep you updated along the way. But I did want to give y'all kind of what my plan is now that I am debt free, since this has been such a huge part of my life and I no longer have to focus on that. But that covers the next 2 years or so, which is crazy to think about. But if you're interested in getting a new desk, definitely check out FlexiSpot. I will have the link to the product in my description box. Feel free to ask any questions. Thank you again to FlexiSpot for partnering with me for this video. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. It really supports my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.